Tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, Governor Kathy Hochul expands protection for the Jewish community amidst conflict in Israel.
And SUNY Oswego students and faculty get ready for fall break.
Plus, SUNY Oswego's class about ChatGPT.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Matt Bly.
And I'm Madeline Cummings.
We begin tonight with the latest from the conflict in Israel. Over 1,000 Israelis and Palestinians are dead after Saturday's surprise attack on Israel by the Palestinian militant group Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has now ordered a complete siege of Gaza, a strip of Palestinian territory adjacent to Israel.
President Biden has pledged rock-solid U.S. support for Israel. He says 11 U.S. citizens have died in the conflict and an unknown number of people are missing. We'll bring you more about the developing situation on the ground in Israel and Gaza later in the evening.
Here in New York, both pro-Israel and pro-Palestine rallies were held in Times Square yesterday. While attending the Columbus Day Parade in New York City, Governor Hochul says law enforcement have increased protection and surveillance at places of Jewish worship throughout New York State.
There have been no active threats to New York State at this time, but again, it only takes one. We're also calling on social media companies. Social media companies have a responsibility again to identify what is being said by these extremists, neo-Nazi, white supremacist groups, and the jihadists, that they're all celebrating this assault on Israel together, and what that could mean. So that is my message today, calling on social media.
New York City has the largest Jewish population in the world outside of Israel. Both the FBI and Department of Homeland Security have put out public safety concern bulletins to local and state law enforcement agencies across the U.S.
Here in Oswego County this past Thursday, Fulton Police Chief Michael Curtis shared that their department is currently understaffed. Chief Curtis says a large part of the problem comes from the police officer salary increasing for other counties like Oswego. He says the department needs to act now, as 6 officers are set to retire in the next 2 years.
SUNY Oswego's first ever course on using ChatGPT for business is looking at the potential, promise, and pitfalls of artificial intelligence. The class took place last summer and gave students the opportunity to look at the business applications of AI. A student who took the class says there's no other place you can find someone teaching you about ChatGPT and what you can get out of it.
College students across New York are making fall break plans. Our Austin Claus spoke with some students and faculty from SUNY Oswego. Austin, how do students feel about the fall break?
Yes, Matt. As you can imagine, students are pumped about the upcoming fall break this week. The calendar change this year has resulted in a few days of no classes, not only for SUNY Oswego, but colleges statewide. This new unexpected arrangement in the calendar has given faculty of universities across the country a small but significant break when it comes to colleges, receiving 2 to 3 days off in fall to prevent burnout and allow some time to recuperate and prepare for the rest of the semester. Today I went around to see how the students and staff are responding to the new changes.
So what I do, I communicate with the students before the break, and the students can have time to catch up with their homework. So students, they do poorly in the exams. I talk to them before the break, then they are more relaxed.
I'm really excited. It's going to give me a chance to go home and see my cat. We all need a break sometimes, and going home and recharging the batteries, not that it's draining here.
I've been Austin Claus with WTOP-10. Back.
Thanks, Austin. A group of SUNY Oswego students and faculty are taking a trip to New Mexico this week to do research on the annual solar eclipse. In New Mexico, the team will have full visibility of the moon and will be able to see the ring of fire effect as it covers the center of the sun. The trip is sponsored by NASA and the National Science Foundation and includes Storm Team 10's very own Aurora Fitzgerald. And speaking of Storm Team 10,
let's take a look at your forecast with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Evan Bedron.
It's a very chilly night outside in Oswego tonight. We do have a temperature of about 52. The feels like it's about 47 degrees, so very unseasonably cool. Compared to what we saw last week where it was unseasonably warm, we are now trending downwards towards cooler, maybe even reaching some frost advisories in upper elevations. Wind 7 miles per hour right now. Visibility great, humidity low. We will have some more precipitation coming into our area later tonight, even into tomorrow. already providing more rain to the rain-soaked Oswego area. I'll have more on that and for my forecast coming up after the break, but first, back to the desk.
Today is Indigenous Peoples Day, and SUNY Oswego hosted an event led by Assistant Professor Dr. Michael Chanis and Onondaga Chief of Beaver Clan Jesse Jacobs. Tonight was supposed to be a dialogue about the importance of Indigenous Peoples Day, but Jacobs was absent. Due to the absence, they made the conversation into a panel where people could speak to the negatives of Christopher Columbus Day.
Mayor Billy Barlow announced today the City of Oswego is partnering with SUNY Oswego's men's hockey team to host another Youth Night event on Friday, November 3rd at 7 p.m. The campus will provide entrance tickets for kids with a parent admission ticket. Parents can order tickets online for sections 51 and 53. Kids receive entrance bracelets on the day of the game, and the Lakers hockey team will also host a meet and greet and a group photo at the end of the game. Still ahead tonight, a deadly earthquake struck Afghanistan on Saturday, killing thousands.
Plus, we have more developments from the ground in Israel and Gaza and how the consequences of it are being echoed around the world.
It's taking us more time.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No,
right
but you've
here.
got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
Welcome back to WTOP. I'm Certainty 10 Chief Meteorologist Evan Bedron. And looking at this past weekend, we saw a lot of lake effect rain hit the Oswego area, much of northern central New York. Oswego reached 2 to 3 inches of rainfall, not record breaking, but overall the general area received a lot of rainfall, leading to some flood warnings and flood advisories for most of central New York. And this rain will be sticking around in the coming days. But I looked through around the state for tonight. We do have another lake effect band, very weak, but still persisting off of Lake Erie, impacting Buffalo, Rochester, Oswego, and a little bit of Watertown. But as you go around downstate and much of the rest of the state, those clouds are starting to go away, leading to some clear skies, but those skies won't be staying clear because as we go out the rest of the day tomorrow, you will see those cloud cover returning to the area. Looking for AM commute forecast, we do have about 45 to 47 degree low tomorrow morning as I head out the door. Wind southwest 9-11 miles per hour. Rain will be sticking around the area too, so if you are walking, you may have some minor inconveniences as you head out tomorrow. So I would recommend taking the bus to not catch a cold as you head out the door tomorrow. And for your day planner tomorrow, again, that lake effect rain will be sticking around the area. High of around 55 degrees, low 45. Winds again 9-11 miles per hour with some gusts 15 to 20 miles per hour. So it will be a little gusty as you go throughout your day, but those winds will start to die down as you head more towards the dinner hours. And looking at our 7-day forecast, Tuesday again 55, some lake effect showers. Wednesday 50 Those showers still stick around as you do have a low pressure. It's being stationary in Canada, bring a lot of these cold temperatures and a lot of this unsettled weather to our area after a really unseasonably warm early last week. And as you go throughout the rest of your weekend to the weekend, 58 degrees, so temperatures starting to warm up a little bit, but lows will be sticking around the lower to mid 40s. So it won't feel like anything like fall or summer as we saw last week. And if you go throughout the rest of the weekend into next week, we will see those temperatures sticking around the mid 50s. Those clouds sticking in our area with some showers returning early next week, with those lows staying around the upper 40s. That's all from my forecast. Now back to the desk.
2 people who were critically injured in a house fire on Friday in Syracuse have now been identified. Firefighters pulled Natasha Thomas and Malik Williams from a 2-family home on Burdick Avenue around 2:40 a.m. Friday morning. When firefighters entered the home to search for people, they were met with heavy smoke and heat conditions. A spokesperson from Upstate Hospital says that Williams and Thomas are in critical condition.
The Biden administration is offering Israel special operations planning and intelligence support for any hostage rescue effort. U.S. political leaders are pledging their support for Israel after Hamas fighters on Saturday breached the border from Gaza in a surprise attack that left hundreds dead. Catherine Kaifa is in Washington with the latest.
After more than 48 hours of fighting, Israel's military says it has retaken control of all communities around Gaza. On the ground, Israeli troops work to secure the breach points where Hamas fighters cross the border.
It's taking us more time as we expected to get things back into a sort of defensive security posture of people coming in and also defending the communities.
While from the air, Israel pounds Gaza with strikes it says are aimed at Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad targets. But scores of women and children have been killed, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry.
We are at war with Hamas. And sadly, there might be people that are involved killed. It won't be intentional. And sadly, Hamas have entrenched themselves in a cynical way within the civilian population.
Disturbing new videos from Hamas's attack on a music festival show the extent of the terror. Fighters shooting at a hostage at close range. A woman is led away. Her fate is unknown. Hamas claims it is holding more than 100 hostages.
But this was completely different attack that nobody was prepared for, and nobody can ever be prepared for such a thing, I guess.
The unprecedented attack shaking the international community. 2 senior officials say the U.S. State and Defense Departments are moving as quickly as they can to deliver weapons to Israel as part of already existing contracts.
President Biden's direction was to make sure that we're providing Israel everything it needs in this moment to deal with the attacks from Hamas.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Hamas put out a statement this morning saying that if Israel strikes Gaza without broadcasting its usual warnings, militants will start executing hostages. The White House says it is in close talks with several allies in the region who can serve as a mediator in the talks related to the hostages.
The prices in oil are set to increase due to the violence in Israel. U.S. oil is around $86 per barrel as prices for oil fell last week. But now oil-producing countries like Saudi Arabia are in fear of being drawn into conflict. Now, the estimated prices for a barrel could be over $100. Saudi Arabia refuses to boost its production.
According to the Taliban, close to 2,000 people died following a powerful earthquake in Afghanistan on Saturday. The 6.3 magnitude quake struck west of Herat City, located in the 3rd largest province in Afghanistan. The quake was followed by multiple aftershocks. This latest disaster follows an earthquake that hit Afghanistan in June this year, killing more than 1,000 people.
Despite the pushback, certain parts of West Maui reopened to tourists. The Maui City Council urged Governor Josh Green to delay the reopening of the island. Many residents are still trying to heal and rebuild their homes after the deadly wildfires that hit last August. But while visitors are welcome back in some areas, the state says that bringing back vacationers will happen in stages. When WTOP-10 nightly news continues, learn which ethnicity is at higher risk for Alzheimer's disease.
And an update on the ongoing UAW strike and its impact on our economy.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Shine on that black.
Look at the bling. Look at do we got a diamond tester on?
Yeah, that's getting bad. Yep.
10 out of 10 recommend on Yelp.
Scoring, going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride.
Wait, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
Kevin, I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
In consumer news, according to a new report from the Alzheimer's Association, Hispanic Americans are at a greater risk for the cognitive disease than non-Hispanic Americans. The new research shows Hispanic Americans are 1.5 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's. Experts say it's important to know the early signs of Alzheimer's. Important things you can do to try and prevent the disease are exercise and controlling diabetes and high cholesterol.
Older adults in the U.S. still make up the majority of hospitalizations from COVID-19. A report done by the CDC found that adults 65 and older accounted for about 63% of all COVID-19 hospitalizations and 61% of intensive care unit admissions. Older adults also made up 88% of in-hospital deaths from the virus. According to the report, nearly all had at least one underlying condition.
It's a tough time for potential home buyers. The average U.S. mortgage rate is increasing, and rates are the highest level in 23 years. Mike Valerio has details on what home buyers can do to get their best rate from lenders.
Americans are feeling the impact of inflation in most areas of their lives, but getting a high mortgage rate now can make a big dent on your bank account for decades. The average U.S. mortgage rate is 7.49%. The highest level in 23 years.
You're not going to get 4%, but you can make sure that you're getting the best rate that's out there.
Greg McBride with Bankrate.com says there are a few things you can do to show lenders you're a low risk.
Make sure your credit report is accurate and do everything you can to increase your credit score there. That means pulling copies of your credit reports and getting incorrect information removed from that report.
He says it's good to shop around.
Ideally, you want to compare quotes and you want to put in an application with as many as 3 different lenders and do so as close to the same period of time as possible. You want to do all those on the same day. That way you get a real apples to apples comparison, not just on the rate that's available, but also the fees that the lender is charging.
After doing your research, if the numbers still don't work for you, you may want to hit the pause button on purchasing a new home.
Another couple of years of paying down debt, boosting savings, maybe another promotion at work that boosts your income could put you in a position where home ownership is much more tenable a year or two from now than it is today.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Potential homeowners are encouraged to do their own research and carefully consider their options prior to purchasing a new home.
The United Auto Workers strike against the big 3 automakers is already the costliest U.S. auto strike in a century. Economic losses from the strike have exceeded $5.5 billion in its first 3 weeks, according to an analysis by AEG. It is the first time in the union's history that it has struck all 3 unionized automakers at the same time. UAW leadership remains optimistic about the outcome.
Coming up in sports is Owen Miles.
Owen, can you give us a quick preview?
Oswego women's soccer is rolling through, and a Formula One superstar has made a historical feat. Coming up in sports after the break.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
Hello and welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Owen Miles and I will be bringing you your sports report this evening. The Oswego women's soccer team took on the SUNY Oneonta Red Dragons this Saturday on the road. Oneonta had no answer for the Lakers as Oswego took this game 2-0. After a scoreless first half of play, junior Katie Del Grosso put the Lakers on the board 75 minutes in, and soon after, senior Sarah Marinero scored the game-sealing goal 81 minutes in. The Lakers took home their 5th win of the season and will return home to take on SUNY Geneseo this Wednesday at 4 p.m. Now over to our home turf. The Oswego women's field hockey fell to Geneseo on Saturday with a final score of 2-0. Geneseo kicked things off early with their first goal coming just 10 minutes into the game. The Knights scored again soon after, 21 minutes and 55 seconds. The Lakers weren't able to come back despite 6 shots on goal. They will hope to bounce back from this loss at home when they take on Nazareth on Tuesday at 5 p.m. The Oswego Speedway has been very active lately as Super Dirt Week 2023 just wrapped up. The event saw 4 different classes of modified and late model race cars battle it out on the dirt. Matt Williamson won the Billy Whitaker Cars 200 in the Super Dirt Car Series, beating NASCAR drivers such as Max McLaughlin and Stuart Friesen. The winners of the other main features included Matt Jansuk and Dirt Car Sports Swing Series and Luke Horning in the Dirt Car Pro Stocks. Oswego Dirt Week will return in 2024 on October 7th through 13th. Now we hear some NFL news as the Buffalo Bills may have lost several superstar players after yesterday's loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Linebacker Matt Milano suffered a knee injury early in the first quarter. Further analysis showed that Milano would require surgery. Additionally, defensive lineman Daquan Jones also left the game in the first quarter. Later reports say that Jones injured his pectoral muscle and will also need surgery. Head coach Sean McDermott has not said these injuries are season-ending, but that both players will be out for a long period of time. And now back onto the motorsport side of things. Max Verstappen has officially won the Formula One championship for the 3rd year in a row. Even though the season still has 5 races left, he had enough wins and pole positions to automatically win the championship. Verstappen's rare accomplishment came after he finished 2nd in the Qatar sprint race on Saturday morning. As if that wasn't already enough, Max Verstappen also won the Qatar Grand Prix on Sunday, 5 seconds ahead of 2nd place finisher Oscar Piastri. Now moving on from the racing world and back into the NFL, WTOP-10 sports reporter Jesse Kushner joins us in the studio now to give us a recap on yesterday's Sunday night game, the Dolphins versus the Giants. Jesse?
Starting off in Miami, the Dolphins took on the New York Giants.
This was a battle, folks, with the Dolphins scoring their second touchdown of the night with about 10 minutes left on the clock. And with a monster 76-yard run by Devon Achane, the Dolphins are slowly increasing their deficit between the Giants. The Giants quickly answered back with a touchdown of their own with only 1:40 on the clock left in the second quarter. Jason Pinnock with 102 yards takes advantage of the defense and manages to take an easy touch. This is a great game overall, but the Dolphins came guns a-blazing and secured this victory. Owen, back to you.
Owen and Jesse, thank you both. Stick around to find out what sweet holiday we're celebrating today.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the Earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Candlelight Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty. The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Tomorrow is National Cake Decorating Day. October 10th is the day to thank your favorite cake decorator. Whether it's using icing, buttercream, meringue, or fondant, cake decorators have many ways to express their edible art.
Use the hashtag National Cake Decorating Day on social media to give a shout out to your favorite cake decorator, post favorite designs, or memories of past cakes.
Real quick, Evan, can we get another recap on the weather for this upcoming week?
Yeah, so I mean, if you think we had enough rain over the weekend to last us all the way throughout the rest of the year, you'd be wrong. We do have more rain sticking around our area throughout the entire rest of the week, with some lake effect rain impacting us tomorrow, and then there's general showers as we go out the rest of the week. Friday, we do finally have a chance of some rain, but those clouds will be sticking around. As we go out throughout the weekend, we will see those clouds sticking around our area with pretty low temperatures, so it will be chilly, so make sure you break out those jackets as you head out the door throughout the rest of the week. But as we go throughout the rest of the weekend into Monday morning, throughout the rest of the early next week, we will see those rain showers come back to our area, giving us even more rain. I think the rain should have been done by last week on Friday, but this rain will be sticking around throughout the rest of this weekend, throughout the rest of this week, and into early next week. So no end in sight for this rain, and no end in sight for these cold temperatures.
I'll need to break out my raincoat, that's for sure, walking to class.
Yeah.
Now, what's your favorite sweet? It's National Cake Decorating Day. What do you like?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, just classic ice cream. That's pretty good.
That's a chocolate fan at all?
Nah, I'm more of a twist fan. But putting toppings on it, stuff like that.
Okay.
That would be great.
Well, twists are the best.
Well, that's our report for tonight.
Be sure to stay tuned for Perspective Entertainment.
Thank you for watching.
Have a great night, everyone.